Hello everyone, welcome back to another segment of This Old Cemetery. Today we're going to visit Davenport Cemetery, which is located in the outskirts of San Antonio, Texas. Now this cemetery is so historical that it actually has its own Texas historical landmarker, so let's go check it out. Here we have the information of the person that this cemetery was named after, which was William Davenport. Feel free to read the entire historical marker here, but to sum up the first paragraph, William Davenport was born in 1820 in Saltville Township, Virginia. His family later lived in Kentucky before settling in present-day Kaufman County, Texas in 1843. There he met his first wife, Mary Ware, daughter of a Texas Revolutionary veteran, William Ware. William Davenport and Mary built a home south of Cibolo Creek after purchasing some land in 1851, which is the land that we're currently on. Sadly, in 1852, Mary died, and William had her buried near the property. The following year, William Davenport married Nancy D. Young, whose father, by the name of John Young, was a veteran of the War of 1812, who is also buried in Davenport Cemetery, which is the first grave you actually see here. Now, some of these tombstones here are really weathered, where it's really hard to see the names and the dates of birth and dates of death. And I found a website called farmandranch.omeka.net, which has information about the Davenport family and who is related to who. And right here we have Jack W. Davenport. Now, on this grave here, I can't find who or how he's related to William Davenport, but I want to assume that he's his son or maybe a relative. The same goes for this grave too. I'm assuming Willie Davenport is probably the grandson of William Davenport. Here we are walking towards the grave of William Davenport. Now, to his left is his first wife, Mary Ware, and to his right is Nancy Young Davenport. Here is a picture I found of William and Nancy Davenport. I also must add that William Davenport was also a Freemason, as you could see the symbol above Davenport. Now to your right is the grave of Minnie Davenport, and to your left is the grave of Robert Davenport. Now, both of these two people were the kids of William and Nancy Davenport. Here we have another child of William and Nancy Davenport. This here is Maggie Davenport. She was only 2 years old when she died. There are some words on the bottom of this tombstone that I just couldn't make out because it was so weathered. Let me know if you can make out what it says. Now this tombstone here was a bit hard to decipher. I could barely make out the year of birth, which is 1865, and based on the information I have, this is the grave of Rachel Davenport Evans, who was the daughter of William and Nancy Davenport. Here we have the grave of Rachel Ruth Evans, who was the daughter of Rachel Davenport Evans and Rube Evans, who was, of course, Rachel Davenport Evans' husband. Now, behind this single row of Davenport graves are these two graves that are closed off here. Now, these two people have the last name Foltz, so I'm not sure if they're related to Davenports or they just lived in the area and were allowed to be buried here. And here you can see the grave of Angeline Foltz. And here is the grave of Reuben M. Foltz. Now I'm assuming that he is the son of Angeline Foltz. And I'm not really sure where Angeline's husband is buried, but I did not see his tombstone here. So once upon a time, William Davenport had 1,000 acres of land, which stretched all the way to present-day Randolph Air Force Base. And here we have a picture of him standing in front of his house. The house, believe it or not, still stands today, which you could see located right over here. This home was built in 1875 after the original home was lost in a fire, and here's what it looks like today. Here's another old photo that I found of Nancy Young Davenport sitting outside her porch back in 1933. One last thing I wanted to point out about William Davenport was that he was a captain of a local militia that organized to help protect settlers from Indian attacks, which is why he was very well respected during his time. This concludes our tour of this old cemetery. Join me next time we visit Salado Cemetery, which is located in the northeast side of San Antonio, Texas. Now, for you San Antonio natives, you might recognize some of these names on the graves at this cemetery. So in the meantime, make sure to leave your comments about this video in the comment section below, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.